Hello and welcome to another episode of Geared Toward Gear. My name is Sean and I am so glad you're here. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to join me. It always means a lot. And today we're talking flashlights. Specifically, we're talking about this one flashlight, and it is made by Energizer, which is kind of odd to me because I've always looked at flashlights that are made by battery manufacturers as total junk, because that's been my experience. But this one's pretty neat, and so, you know, if you're if you're tired of all of the fancy high-speed low drag stuff that's coming out with 6 modes and strobes and SOSs and double taps and triple taps and all that stuff, and you just want something that's very simple and straightforward, this is an option. There are plenty of options. There may even be better options, but this is just one that I thought was pretty darn neat, and I wanted to share it with you. So as I mentioned, it's made by Energizer, and the actual name of this light, depending on where you look, you may see it called something different, but it is called the something along the lines of the Energizer Hard Case Professional Multi-Use Flashlight. I bought mine on Amazon.com. Here in the US, it costs $15. So $15 US. It is a very, very budget-friendly flashlight, and so that was what initially drew me to it, was the price. $15, I can dig that for sure. So why would I even kind of give this the time of day, right? I've got dozens of flashlights, some quite expensive ones, ones that are insanely bright. So why this Energizer that is capable of producing 75 lumens? That is it, just 75 lumens. Why this? It's different. It's enough, and I thought it looked pretty cool. It's kind of as simple as that. So let me kind of explain some of the features, why I think it's cool, why I think this is plenty of light for most scenarios, talk you through how this light works. We will do some beam shots, so we'll go out to the garage and show you what this thing can do. We'll talk a little bit about different battery sources. So let's get into it. So $15. It is a 90-degree light, and it's fixed in that position, right? So you can't rotate the head in any way. It just stays that way. It is a 90-degree flashlight. It runs on a single AA battery, and I like that for a few reasons. Most of my flashlights, or at least a large percentage of them, run on rechargeable batteries, wherein you plug the flashlight in via USB or magnetic charging, and that's all well and good. But sometimes it's just nice to have, dare I say, an old school flashlight that when the battery's dead, you take it out and you put in a new one. It's just simple. You don't have to think about it and remember where your charger is and your power bank and your cord. So sometimes I do like just a simple flashlight that runs on a disposable battery. Here's another example, the Olight i3T EOS. It runs on a AAA. When it's dead, I put in a new one and I throw this one away. And so I do appreciate that simplicity. So it comes with an Energizer 1.2 volt standard alkaline battery. I personally don't recommend using alkaline batteries in your gear, whether it be a flashlight, a headlamp, a radio. I prefer either disposable lithium or nickel metal hydride rechargeables. So this is what it came with, and I just kind of discard that, or set it aside, I should say. And what I use is a nickel metal hydride battery. And these are rechargeable. So when it's dead, I would just grab another one of these and put it in the light, but then I could take this and put it on a charger and reuse these. So these are a little more economical. This one's called an N-Loop. It's made by Panasonic. Here's another version of a nickel metal hydride. It's still a 1.2 volt AA battery. This one's made by EBL. Generally, your nickel metal hydrides are going to have a little more capacity than an alkaline, so they may last a bit longer. And again, they do have the advantage of being rechargeable. So that's my personal preference, is a nickel metal hydride. Your other option is a disposable lithium, like this Ultimate Lithium from Energizer. This is not rechargeable. This is not a lithium ion battery. It's just one and done. Once it's dead, it gets thrown away. The advantage of the lithiums is that they are very, very lightweight, significantly lighter than a nickel metal hydride or than an alkaline. They also store very well in extreme temperatures, especially extreme cold, and they have a very, very long shelf life. So if you're going to be kind of storing batteries for preparedness, I think lithiums are a better option. And so in my EDC bag, bug out bag, I always keep spare lithiums. But in my devices, I always have nickel metal hydride. So there it is. That's the battery source. So how does this light work? Let's talk quickly through how it works, and then I'll show you a few features, and then we'll head outside and see what this thing can do. So this light has two modes. The first mode is off, and the second one is on. And that's it. On and off. That's as simple as it gets, right? The old school flashlights that we used to use, that you would just push the button forward for on, pull it back to turn it off. There's no searching for the right mode or messing with all your flashy stuff. It's just on and off. And that simplicity I appreciate. In a time when we have so many options that can at times become fairly complicated, I appreciate coming back to something like this every now and then. Again, this is not the end-all be-all, the single flashlight everyone should own. It's just another option, and it's one that I think is pretty kick-ass. It does also have a momentary feature, meaning if I press this power button kind of halfway down, it'll come on, and then when I release it, it turns off. So it's momentary. So just a quick burst and then off. And if I want to stay on, I just do a full click and it's on. And when I'm done, I turn it off. Couldn't be more simple, right? So I love that. It does have a pocket clip, and the pocket clip has some pretty good retention. It's a metal clip and it's shrouded in plastic. And that plastic also has some really, really strong magnets. So you could stick it on something and run it that way. You could clip it to a shirt. You could also hang it from like a lanyard with this little lanyard loop here. So a few different ways you can carry it. The pocket clip rotates around the light 360 degrees, so you can position it wherever you would like, and it's also removable, so you can take the clip completely off if you prefer that. So it also has this, what they call their hard case. That's kind of their trademarked, this series of lights is the hard case line. And it has this sort of rubber overmold that is super thick and super durable. And this is rated to survive a drop of up to 7 meters, which is well over 20 feet. So that's pretty awesome. It's definitely a rugged, durable light, and I appreciate that. It is IPX4 rated, so this is not going to be capable of being submerged in water. You're going to risk having a catastrophic failure if you were to submerge this, but it can handle, a little bit of rain, being splashed with water, things like that. And the specs say that it will put a beam distance, it'll put a beam out to a distance of about 30 meters. So that's your throw. The pattern of the beam, and we'll see this when we go out to the garage, the pattern of the beam is a floodlight. It's not a spotlight, it's not a thrower. It's definitely a flood pattern, which I like. And the color temperature is a cool white. So it's a very bright white, kind of nearing the blue end of the spectrum, as opposed to a neutral white or a warm white, which is kind of more yellow. So it's a bright white and it's a flood pattern. So that's what you're looking at as far as your beam. We can see our LED right there. It doesn't specify which type of LED it uses, but there's our LED and our reflector and all that good stuff. So yeah, it's a neat light. It's a general purpose utility light that you could use around the house, around the office, around the garage, at the shop. If you're a tradesperson, a tradesman, being rugged and durable and just having that single click. I did use this a bunch with wearing some mechanics gloves, and it's super easy to actuate that switch with gloves on. And again, you have a number of different mounting and carrying options. So I just thought it was neat. Thought you might think so too, and so I wanted to share it with you. I'm really liking it. So it's perfect for just around the house for me. This will light up any room in my home, and it'll light that room up in its entirety. So my living room, all the bedrooms, hallways, kitchen, even my yard, if I had to take my dog out. So 75 lumens, right? That's the max output for 6 hours, potentially more if you're using a nickel metal hydride battery. But 75 lumens doesn't seem like a lot, especially when we have lights like this OLED that can put out 180 lumens on high, and it's only $5 more. Granted, they're fundamentally different types of lights, and again, I'm not saying this is better than this, it's just different. It's another option, and one, again, I thought you guys might be interested in taking a look at. And for 15 bucks, I thought it was definitely worth checking out. And I'm glad that I did, because I really, really enjoy this. So that's it. Let's head out to the garage and see what this thing can do. So stand by, and I'll meet you outside. All right, we are on location in Geared Toward Gears garage, and we're just going to see what this Energizer light can do. So lights are off, obviously, as we can tell. I'm going to turn on the light, shine it at the garage door, and just kind of take a quick look, and then we'll move around the garage a little bit. So I'll pick up the tripod here. So there it is on the garage door, 75 lumens. If I shine it over here towards the side of the garage, you can see it very easily lights up the entire side of the garage. Do the same thing over here. Just kind of lights up what you need to light up, right? If I need to light up my path, I can light up my path quite nicely. And as you can see, that beam pattern is definitely floody. You're not seeing a bright hot spot right in the center, and it's a pretty cool white color. So yeah, plenty of light to do most EDC tasks, at least the stuff that I do. So yeah, that's what 75 lumens, a mere 75 lumens looks like in pitch dark. And again, just to prove that it is pitch dark, we'll turn it off real quick. That is pitch dark, and that is just 75 lumens. So yeah, that's it. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.